Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from GED Math Tutoring. Hopefully you guys are having a lovely and amazing Friday. I don't know about you, but it's a little chilly willy in the morning, but with the sun out, get that nice crisp air, fall is right here. So what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be looking more at arithmetic reasoning. So if you are currently getting your GED, your ASVAB, your AccuPlacer, maybe even your TEAS test, your HESI test, and also any other assessments that's going on from A to Z, your IBEWs, that's another thing, your praxis when you need to break down word problems, this is the live for you. So as you guys are coming on in, go ahead and tap and say hi. Just wanted to see who's here. I know my hours are all kinds of crazy, but as I mentioned, yep, I knew this was going to happen. There are so many people that are trying to get tutoring right now, so I have to make sure I get them situated before I can do anything else, because unless you want me to stay at your house and you can feed me, clothe me, yeah, I gotta get that, all right? So, hello. Hey, baddie, since 1990s. All right, hello, Keith. How are you? We got some nasty comments coming in. Ooh, guys, I know it's Friday, but relax. All right. So, Bliss fan, hello. How are you? Okay, let's get with some of this math. Let's see if you guys can see what I see. Do you see what I see? All right, so we got Christian is standing in the middle of a circular track with a diameter of 150 feet. How far away is Kristen from the runners on the track? Is it A, 150 feet, B, 300 feet, C, 75 feet, or D, 25 feet? A, B, C, or D, you can put that in the chat for me. I greatly appreciate it. Hi, I'm bored again. Hello, Michael. Love that you're using the sticker. Hopefully you're doing all right. I know. So we got an E. Okay, not even an option, but here we are. Stacy got a C. Okay, Sky Broker with a B. James is C. Okay, EBC, I'm bored again. Miguel, all have C's. Kim with a C. Okay, welcome on in, everyone. I greatly appreciate you. Dante, hello, with the C. Michael's got my C in here. All right. Okay, CCC, we got liar squared with an A. Don't be a liar. Okay, we got Ren with a C. Miguel, we got you. Cookie Monster with a C. Big Q with an A. Bobby with a C. Jungle Larry. Oh, y'all sound like fun people. Okay, so we have all our C's. Now, take a look. This is what it says. She's standing in the middle of the track. Okay? Now, if you have a diameter of 150, you're standing in the middle of it, why not just divide it by 2? Okay? So if you got your 150, you're standing in the middle, that's half. That's how you get your 75. All right? Now, let's get with our next one. A famous breakfast cereal has a content of 125 thousandths % vitamin C. Yeah. How much vitamin C is that? Nothing. Okay, the recommended daily daily allowance of vitamin C is 18 milligrams. Turn that down a little bit. How many grams of cereal would a person have to eat to get 100% of his daily allowance of vitamin C? So when you guys ask, when are we ever going to learn this in real life? Here you are. This is your diet. Okay? So what are they giving us? Well, they said the daily dosage is 18 milligrams. What do they want us to find? They want us to find how many grams there are. And they know that a famous cereal, they have 125,000% of vitamin C within it. Okay, so would my answer be A, 10.3, B, 11.8, C, 14.4, D, 15.1? Okay, so we got proportions. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm seeing a whole series of D's. I have a couple of C's. All right. We have a couple C's. We have some D's. All right. Let's see. Let's see. So glad my life doesn't depend on knowing this because I'll be dead. Right. I will be deceased. Okay. So at least a lot of people are saying either C's or D's. Okay, so we can basically try to eliminate our A and B, and I agree with that. And I'm going to tell you why in a moment. Okay, thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Michael. Not sure what's going on. All right, so one thing we have to going from, long day. We have to go from milligrams to grams, okay? So I know that 1 gram, milli, 1,000, okay? So if we look at our milligrams, so if we have our milligrams, which is my 18, and then how much is in that cereal, which is 0.125, I know I can multiply this by my configuration, which if I do 1 gram divided by that, I got my 0.10. So this one's going to be a little tiffy-tuffy if we're going to be doing it manually. So if you want to do it manually, we can. But you got your 18 divided by your 0.125 hundredths. This will give us 144. Now, if I multiply it, okay, with my 10 spot, that means I have to move my decimal place, which will start here, move it over 1 spot, okay, because we're talking about what? Percentages. But we want to get it out of our gram. So that's how you would get 14.4. So if you took your 18 and divided by how much is in that cereal, you would get 144. Just by getting this, look at your answer choices. But I know if I have to do any conversions, it's going to give me that 14.4. Why don't I go from left to right? I did. Didn't I go from left to right? So 18 divided by 0.025. Okay, the decimal. So since I'm timesing it, because if I'm taking a percentage, okay, let me go on because let me tell this. So since I got my 1 gram out of 1,000, and since we're talking about a percentage, we need that 100% from that. So if I do my decimal space, it will give me 0.1, or I can say 0.10 if I wanted to. 0.10 or 0.1. And then you're multiplying that with what you got here as a fraction, with the 18 and 100.125. Okay, sorry. Sometimes I skip things and I'm like, why am I skipping things? Okay, this can be for TEAS test as well. Okay, so that's where like the 0.10 came from. You got me? All right. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to show you that part. All right. Not a problem. Okay. Let's go with, so this any time of arithmetic reasoning, anytime word problems, period, is going to be great for any type of assessment. High school equivalent, your GED, your ASVAB, your TEAS test, your HESI test, you're going to need it. Okay, so pulling all this information out. Okay, all right, so now we have Allison bought a pair of jeans for $53, a blouse for, who says blouse anymore? A blouse for $39.95, 2 pairs of stockings for $9.95 each. Sales tax in her state is 7%. How much did Allison spend on her shopping trip? Is it A, $112.85, B, $110.94, $110.53 for C, and D, $120.75. Astro World, come on. Give it a try. Okay. So Miguel with a D, King Bala with a D, Michael with a D, Stacy with a B. Okay, My Love with a B, Amy with a D. Fancying it up with the parentheses. She's like, I want to stand out. Let me put parentheses around my D. Tony with a D. Okay, Cookie Monster, D. La Prista, D. Blessed Fan, B. Beans. Wow, beans? That much? That's a lot. For some stockings and some jeans? You cray. Okay. So D. E. Allison's broke. All right, so soap, we got our D. All right. All right. So let's see. User 29 with the D. None of the answers is correct. BTV. All right. Galaxy with a D. All right. Let's take a gander. All right. So first, we have a pair of jeans. So that's 53. Okay. A blouse. All right. So if you want to do the $39.95, I'm going to show you something really short in a second. And then you have 2 pairs of stockings. Not 1 pair, but 2 pairs. Because it's $9.95 each. Okay, we're not talking about just 1 leg. All right. So you can add all these up. Then the sales tax is going to be 7%. So you know your 7%, we're going to be doing a little bit of multiplying. So that's 0.07, not 0.7. That's 0.70. All right. And then you're going to get an answer. Since we can't use a calculator, you can do what's called estimating. It will make your life so much easier. So if anything, we can round especially our change up. So if I round up to make this 40, that's 5 cents on the background. If I round this up to make it 10, that's another 5 cents on the side. And if I round up to make this 10, that's another 5 cents on the side. So a good 15 cents on the side. So if we take a look at that, we can do this. 53 plus 40, and then 10 and 10 will make 20. Okay, so then this will give me like 113. Okay, and then from here we can try to figure out what 7% would be. So that would be my 0.07, and we're going to multiply these two. So 7 times 3 is 21, carry the 2. So 7 plus 2, that will give me my 9. 7 and 1 is 7. Moving it over to 2 decimal places. So that means I have my 113 plus my 791. That will roughly give us 120.75. and of course some change. But you know the change is going to be off because we pulled 15 cents from these. Okay, so that means it's going to be 15 cents over on here. But it gives you a good idea of what to pick. Obviously, you're not going to pick 112. You're not going to pick 110. You're not going to pick another 110. So your answer is going to be roughly 120. And then we can work out the change later. Okay? So just in case, because remember, when you take this test, especially if you're doing GED and ASVAB and AccuPlacer, you cannot use a calculator for it. So you got to practice the way that you play. All right? Okay. All right. Here we go. For number 4. So Jackie and Kim took identical trips in their cars. They both drove 300 miles and Jackie averaged 10 miles per hour faster than Kim. If took, there we go, Jackie 4.5 hours to make the trip, what was Kim's speed? Is it A, B, C, or D? Yep. Yep. And it's like a lot of the things that a lot of you guys are saying, well, we know that once we get the 113, it can't be A, B, or C. Exactly. It's like, but why'd you do that? It's okay. Guys need to calm down off the caffeine. It's okay. All right. You're crazy for math? All right, Jen. All right, so we got some C's. We have a couple B's. All right. So don't tell me how to process it. Tell me what you think the answer is. Okay. Joe's got me with C. I think there was a couple others. Okay. All right. All right. So Sandra with a C. Hurley Gamble. Okay, Rucker, Tommy, Chris, David, all said B's. Joe with a C. Is that Duncan with a D? Hey, Janae, how are you? Brittany with a D. Looney Bin might be there with you with a B. All right, there we go. So Scrappy, Damon with C's, Clifton with D's. Hey, math, I love watching his videos. Trying to. Okay, Angie, I appreciate that you're being here. Let's go. All right, Michael with my B's. Another Michael with an A. Ooh, the battle of the Michaels. Okay, you're going with C. Okay. All right, so we got a whole lot of things going on here. Anytime they do a comparison like this, we should be thinking about our distance compared to the rate and time. So they're telling us they both drove 300 miles. Okay. So that's my distance. Jackie averaged 10 miles an hour faster than Kim, but if it took Jackie 4.5 hours, okay, that's my time. So we're looking at what is that rate because we're looking at what was Kim's speed. We're looking at for the rate. So we're going to take our 300 and divide it by our 4.5 hours. So I'm going to do as 4.5. Okay. So I know 4 can go into 30 without going over about 6 times. So 30 minus 24, that gives me another 6. So it's a whole repeat of 6s before I get to my decimal of the repeating 6s. So I'm going to cap it at 7. Okay. So right now, that's going to be the rate. But that is for who? That's not for Kim, because that's who we're looking for. This is for Jackie, okay? And they said that Jackie averages 10 miles per hour faster than Kim. So that means we're going to take Jackie's answer, which is the 6.7, and we're going to take away 10 away from that, which will give me my 56.7, which my answer is B. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So let's take a switch 7. All right. Let's get with another. Oops. Let me slide that over here. Okay. So Manny has a coupon for 10% off one oil change. The regular oil change price is $21.95, including parts and labor. Where's that? If Manny bought his car and his mom's car in for oil change, how much did he spend? Was it A, B, C, or D? Okay, so from the last one, the 66.7 was only for Jackie. You were looking for Kim, so you had to take 10 miles off of it, so you can find out what Kim was. All right, so we got a whole slew of A's. We got a couple of C's. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I tried to connect with a recruiter. No go. Not here in Maryland. Okay. So we got our A's. We got our A's. Maybe C. Because it says 10% only in one car. Ooh, okay. Got some A's. Okay. Hey, Rosette. How are you? Okay, 3 J's with an A. DJ with an A. Brandon A. Noah. Sharon, Rojo, Baby, all are saying A's. Okay. All right. So let's take a look. So someone mentioned it. Okay. Obviously, tax is not included. All right. So 10% off one oil change. All right. So the regular oil change is $21.95. Okay. So that means if he's bringing his car and his mom's car in, one of them has to pay full price. So if we take 10% off of this, that's basically $2.20, roughly. Okay. Because if we have an oil change, one of them is going to be full price. The other one is going to have the special price, which is the 10% off of your regular oil change. So if we take our 10% off, that means there's 90% still on the thing. Okay. So if I wanted to, I can take 21.95 and multiply it by 0.9. That will take me directly to the sales price. So if you do, let me see if I can squeeze it on in here. So if you do take the 21.95, and then if I multiply it by 0.9, I'm going to see my sales price. 9 and 5. And you're like, where's the 9 coming from? Well, if 10 is coming off, that means 90 is still on the original price. So you have your 5, 45, 81 and 5, that's 85. 91, 9, 16, 17, that's 18 and 1, that's 19. So if I can move it 1, 2, 3 decimal places, because this has 2 decimal places, this has 1 decimal place, so I will move it over 3 decimal places. But since it has that 5 on here, when it's 5 and above, we're going to give it a shove. So that means the price for the other one is going to be $19.76. And if we add them together, let's start here. 5 plus 6 gives me 11. I immediately go to the answer choices. Which ones is ending with the 11? Well, this one is, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be 57. So let's keep going. So I have my 9 and my 7. Carry that over. So that gives me a 19, 17. So 9, 10, 11, 2, 3, 4. Since I rounded, that's why that change is going to look weird. So it is going to be A. How did I get the 9? Because if 10% is coming off, that means 90% is staying on the price. Okay, that's how I got the 9. Okay, good evening, Angela. Okay, because that whole step, a lot of you guys, this is what you guys do. This is what you guys do. If you're taking 10%, this is what you do. You do 21.95. Then you go times 10. And then you're like, okay, there's my 0. Here's my 5. Here's my 9. Here's my 1. Here's my 2. And it's 2 decimal places. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's rounded to like $2.20. Then you go back to the original. And then you're like, okay, if I'm taking $2.20 off, so I go back to the original with the 95 minus the 220, and then you got your 5, you got your 7, then this will be 1, and this will be 9. It's the same thing. You're just doing extra steps for no reason. And this is a life skill. So when you get anything off, if something is on sale for 10%, that means 90% is still on. Everything's out of 100. Okay, everything's out of 100. Yep. Okay. Right? So if you ever go shopping and they say 70, well, first of all, check to see if it says 70% off. That means there's 25% still on the sale of that product. Okay? You'll get to your answer so much quicker. Alrighty? All right. Let's try number 6. Okay? So a carpenter needs 7 pieces of wood, each 3 feet 6 inches long. If the boards are only sold in 8-foot lengths, how many boards will she have to buy? Is it A, 4 boards, B, 3 boards, C, 5 boards, or D, 8 boards? Okay. Hey, Lynette. What? Scared. No, the coupon mass, Pyro, the coupon doesn't apply to both cards, only one. So that's why you had one that was the full price and the one that had the 10%. Okay. All right. Don't be scared, V. What's going on? All right. So I'm seeing some A's, some B's, C's. I got a 5 with a C. Got a couple C's, got a couple A's. You know, This is the best place to make mistakes if you have to. It's okay. Okay, we're going to make adjustments. We're all human, okay? Just trying to help you to get a little bit closer to your success of passing the test. Thank you for the I don't knows. Then remember, if you don't know, put a question mark. Okay, you can put a question mark. That's perfectly fine. All right, so I'm seeing a whole lot of A's. Okay, a whole lot of C's. Okay. All right, let's take a look. So if each of the boards that's provided, it has to be like 8 foot, right? And basically we're looking at 3 feet 6 inches long. So that's what that carpenter needs. So they need 7 pieces of wood, each of them 3 feet 6 inches long. But the boards are only sold 8 foot lengths. Okay, we don't want to shortchange ourselves. All right, so if we go, we can get 3.5, but let's be short. We don't want any halves. So if I said, okay, they can be possibly like maybe 2 boards, right? Because 3.5 plus 3.5, that would give us 7. All right, so you're wondering where 7 came from? 3.5 times 2. Okay, that's where the 7 came from. But if we know we're going to have they're only sold in 8 lengths, this is 8 foot. So this is 2 boards. So if I have 2 more boards, that will kind of give us our 14. And then our 14 divided by the 2 will give us our 7 pieces of wood. So we're going to need 4 boards. Because we know that 2 and 2 boards, 2 gives us our 14. 14 divided by the 7 pieces will give us our 2. And we need 2 more boards. 2 plus 2 gives us 4. Okay. All right. Okay. Or you can do that way too. That's what I'm saying. There's always like so many different ways. So many different ways. All right. Now, here's the one that we're not looking at width because it only sold at 8 foot lengths. Okay, keywords. Gonna have to get that reading down. Okay, not to be insulting, I'm just saying. Because the arithmetic ones, they could just put like a couple stuff that you don't even need. So here's the one that everyone loves. Give them to therapy. Train A is heading north at 65 miles per hour. Train B is also heading north in an adjacent track, okay, not the same track, the adjacent track at 72 miles an hour. At the end of 4 hours, how much farther will train B have traveled than train A? Okay, do we have A 20, B 22, C 26, or D 28? So I do see a couple D's. Hey, West Virginia, how you doing? Okay. No, Rebecca. Try again. Okay, user, we got D. We got 22s, a bunch of D's. Okay. So the D's are 28s, so 28s. We've got some D's, got some question marks. D's and 22s. We have some C's. Okay, going to correct the answer. Am I going to get the correct answer? Yes, I am. Questions like this on our homework. I know, it's always the train. Yep, it's always the trains. Okay, so we have our D's. Let's take a look. Again, anytime they're talking about distance, they're giving us rate. We should always do our distance with our speed or our rate and time. So we got to do for two separate situations. So we got train A and we have train B. So they're saying train A, they're already giving me my rate. Anytime it says miles per hour, that's your rate. So that would be 65. They also gave us the time for both of the trains. Notice that 4 wasn't a numeric 4. This is why reading is going to be extremely important, because they do this all the time. You will think, okay, just put a 4 there, 4 hours. No, sometimes they'll write it out. So you're going to have to kind of fish for it. So we're going to multiply because we got our rate and we got our time. So if I cover that, you're multiplying the rate and the time. Same thing we're going to do for train B. Train B is 72, and that's for 4 hours. All right, so 5 times 4 gives me 20. 4 and 6, 24 plus 2, so that gives me 26. So 260 for train A. So that's going to be the distance. Okay, that's your miles. Then 72 times 4. 4 and 2 gives me 8. 7 and 4 gives me 28. So now I got my mileage. So they want to know how much further will train B have traveled than train A. So what am I going to do with these two answers? What am I going to do with these two answers? Yep, all you're going to do is subtract it. There you go. So you have 288 minus your 260. There's your 8. There's our 2. So it's going to be D. Okay. All right. So that's all we're doing. That's what you did? Awesome. There you go. Yes, you were. Good job. All right. Next one. So I know I'm just dropping from one problem to the next, but that's what you need to do with these type of exams. Don't just say, oh, I think I got it right. Celebrating yourself, because time keeps going. So you decided to build a bookshelf for your sister's birthday because she has 225 books, all scattered around her room. Okay. If 4 books will fit on a 1 foot length of bookshelf, how many total feet of shelving space should the new bookshelf include at a minimum? Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Or is it D? Yes. So we got our B's, bunch of B's. Yes, Sharon. Yes, B's. Thank you for checking in, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, help me in your PSAT. This is what we're doing. Okay, good. Got a 56.25. That'll be our B's or our B's. Michael with our B's. Okay, sweet as fatty. Okay. Y'all names, man. So we got B's. Oh, we got a couple C's and some B's. All right, a whole bunch of B's. There we go. All right, so let's take a gander. All right, so if you want, we could set up a proportion. So we're looking at, and they told us that 4 books can fit on a 1 foot length bookshelf. So if we got 4 books for 1 foot, and she has a total of 225 books, they want to know what the minimum space is. So we have a proportion here. So if you want, you can say, all right, I need to cross multiply. Anytime it's an equal sign, you want to cross multiply. So 4 times x gives me 4x. And then you have your 225. Okay, so basically you're dividing your 225 by 4. Okay, keeping it easy. So how many 4s can go into 22? That will be 5. All right, with a remainder of 2. So how many 4s can go into 25? That will be 6. Just by this, I'm taking a look at my answer keys, because once I did the 5s, they all have a 5. Then I got my 6. The only one that's giving me a 6 is B. Okay. All right. So if you wanted to see it the whole way through, because remember, when you take this, once you find your answer, keep it moving. You get your 5, that's your 20. 25, that's your 6. Put your decimal. So now we're making this 10. So 2 4s can go into 10. Add another 0. Bring it on down. That's where your 5 will come from. Okay? As you are testing, you are not taking all this time. Okay? Once you see the 56 and that's the only 56, that's your answer. Click it, bubble it, move on. Okay? All right. Okay. So 1.3K people here. Let's see if we can do a math tap before we get to the next part, so I can give you a small commercial. I guess we can call it that. So as you guys are here, if you're loving it, everything's going great, awesome. But if you can't, because I know it's a Friday night, you guys want to do some stuff. Hey, don't get too crazy, because I definitely don't have bail money. So this is where you can go for these. Give me some time. You go here, sign up here, and if you want, do all 5 of these. The reason why is all of my lives from February 2nd is all there, and it's all listed in a playlist says TikTok Lives. So if you ever want to say, oh, I like their lives, but for some reason I can't stay for the whole thing, because sometimes I chit chat a little too much. But go ahead, keep tapping. I can tap and you can tap and I can talk at the same blessed time. All right. But if you need some more assistance with, I don't know, let's say rational functions, or the past couple of days I've been dealing with radical functions. If you need help with factoring, if you need help with all that, all those videos are there. Okay. So you do have some places where you can go. Now, if you like these lives, hey, there's a heart that's right next to my name. I think it takes like 1 coin. Go ahead and sign up to be a fan, be a part of the community a little bit. So when I go live, you'll get that notification. Because right now I got way too many trolls, and especially after been threatened my life. Yeah, I teach math. That's all I do. And someone wants to threaten me. Okay. And TikTok has done nothing about it, but this is the only way that I can feel somewhat safe and not say, screw TikTok, not doing it anymore, and then just leave you guys in the lurch, is for me just to pop up and to do whenever I can do it. Okay. Now, if you guys also need a tutor, I am available. I have a few slots left. Okay, if you want to do private tutoring, we can also think of small groups. If you have a small group of people, maybe you're doing community college, maybe you're doing like college algebra, algebra 2, or if you're just looking for a tutor all together, go ahead and reach out. Okay, you can just give me a quick message, or you can hit that Service Plus. I think it's at the bottom of your screen or maybe underneath my name. Okay, I don't know what level 11 math is, because I know every state and every area says it's all kinds of crazy. Oh, I know. It's nuts. Okay. So Okay, awesome. So pre-calculus, yes, I can do pre-calc. Not that AP pre-calc. That can go back to the depths of hell, which it came. I mean, y'all just making up AP classes. Just say so, No, that can definitely go back. But if it's pre-calc, yes, I can help you with pre-calc. Actually, I did 2 sessions yesterday on pre-calc. Okay. All right. Hey, Big Al. All right. Do I do 5th grade? No. Sorry. Okay. ASVAB, definitely. So if you are like starting from the very beginning and you rather take one of my courses, you can do that. TEAS test, HESI test, IBEW, you can definitely meet me right here for the foundations of algebra if you just want to do a self-paced course. And then you can ask me questions as you move on. But if you're just like, look, I'm going to take my ASVAB in a couple of weeks, I'm going to take it like next month, go ahead and reach out to me so we can do some private sessions. Now, I'm going to tell you right here and now, my sessions are normally, wait for it, $92 an hour. But for my TikTok followers, I'm dropping it down to $77. I tried to do a small group for $5, and guess what? No one signed up for it. No one. And it was literally $5 a session. So, in order for me to do that, that's what I do, and that's what I charge. Okay? So, I'm very, very transparent. And yes, I do Algebra 1 easily. Can I help high school students? Yes, I can. Okay, can I help high school today? Okay, I can help a high school student today. I'm planning on getting off this live in about 40 minutes. And I do have another person at 9. So if you reach out to me, I can definitely reach out to you. Okay, so you need GED math tutoring? That's what you do. Just go ahead and DM me what your needs are. Please don't just DM me hi, because I'm going to easily delete it. Okay, so message me what exactly you need assistance with, and then I will contact you, okay, while I'm uploading and downloading this live. All righty. All right. So all you have to do is just DM me, and there you go. Okay. More word problems, please. They are coming. Okay. This is how I pay. This is how I keep going. 6 under. This is how I keep going. Okay. So I have to sell my services in order for me to continue doing TikToks. Because if not, I'm going to have to stop. Because TikTok is not helping me purchase anything. All right. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. My type of teaching is hard. Okay. All right. Oh, well, thank you. All right. So I want to say Merle needs 65 gallons of paint to paint his house. He would like to purchase all the paint he needs for the least amount of money possible. Which of the following should he buy? 2 25-gallon buckets at $550 each, 11 5-gallon buckets at $108 each, 6 10-gallon buckets at $215 each, or D, none of the above. All right. I appreciate you, Henny. I see you. Because none of them add up to 65. That's your answer, Straw. Let's go. Put it down. So I got D, Pete D, Michael D, Diz D, Deja D, Lucy B, Moore D, Izzy D. Okay. Jocelyn. Hey, Jocelyn. D, none, Ollie, X-Men D, Virginia D. Okay, no options. Good. Need 65. Good. Ralph is saying C or D. Pick one. We've got our D's. Look at all these smart people. Hey. Okay. Freddie. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? All right. So you guys are correct. He needs 65 gallons. Right? This one, it's only giving me 50 gallons. 2 times 25. This one is giving me 55 gallons. All these prices. 6 gallons is giving me 60. I'm still short. So the answer is D. Good job, everyone. No fooling y'all. All right, a truck driver is hauling a load from Reno to Kansas City. The distance between the two cities is 1,650 miles. The law says that truckers must sleep 8 hours for every 10 hours of driving. If the trucker can average 50 miles per hour and obey the law, how many hours will it take him to deliver his load? Is it A, 57 hours, B, 45 hours, C, 33 hours, or D, 24 hours? Okay, so I'm seeing some D's. I got an A, got Cash with a C, Julie with an A, Day with an A, Autumn with a C, okay, Peter with an A. We got V's. What are we doing? I think B, probably. Because B and V are right next to each other. I'm hoping that. Okay, Leah with C, X-Men A, Sister Blue B, T Dubba is C, Jess C, Censorship B, Kiki, do you love me? Okay, Bobby C, Yuppie C, MJ C, Michael A, Heather C, Little Dave A. All right, Matthew that, Tasha, Choice A, okay, Kiki, I like it. We have random A, we got some C's. All right, it's A clearly. Well, obviously it's not that clearly at Wheeler. Because I would have seen a whole season of A's. So let's take a look. All right, so the distance between the two cities is 1,650. Now, the trucker can average speed is 50. So remember, we have distance. If you want, you can say your speed or your rate and then your time. Because it's asking how many hours, all right? So right now, if I take my 1650 and I divide it by my 50, okay? So I know 50 can go into 165 3 times to give me 15, bring down my 0. So 50 times 3 will also give me my 150. So I have 33 hours. All right, so that's driving. So if we're taking a look, because we also have to put in, they sleep 8 hours for every 10 hours of driving. All right. So if we're doing 8 hours of sleep for every 10 hours of driving, so the closest thing, 8 times 3. So if I can figure out my sleep, so it'll be like 8 times 3 will give me my 24. So that means I have my 33 plus my 24. That will give me my 57 hours. So for each 10 hours. So for each 10 hours, so I have 10, 10, 20, 30. That's where the 8 times 3 came from. Okay. Because we can't go 40 because that's more than this. So we take that 24, add to the amount of driving, be able to get them 57 hours. Yes, so it's A. Reddit, did you see where I got the 24 from? Where the 3 come from? So if it's, you get 8 hours of sleep for each 10 hours of driving. So if we drove for 33 hours, every 10 hours, you're supposed to get 8 hours of sleep. So you got your 10, you got your 20, you got your 30. So that means you can get 3 8-hour sessions of sleep. So 8 times 3 gives me 24. So if it's 33 hours of driving, 24 hours of sleep, there we go with the 57 hours. That's how long it's going to take to deliver that load. Okay. I know, right? Everyone's over here taking no-dos, driving like a crazy person from one place to the next. Forget sleep. Just drive the whole time. Please, we usually passed out after 5 seconds on the road. We're like, yeah, we're going on a road trip. Like, dude, come on now. Right? What sleep? Y'all just some dangerous people, man. And you're on the road. Right? As soon as you get on the road, y'all just done. You're like, damn, we just going to the grocery store down the street. That's how tired we be, people. That's how tired we are. In 5th grade in Russia. All right. Awesome. Good job. Okay. So when making a budget, Dana discovered that she'd spent $1,565.16 for groceries. Woo! During the year. Oh, that's cheap. All right. What was Dana's average monthly grocery expense? Is it A, $101.93, B, $125.17, C, $130.43, or D, $149.19? All right, so I see a C of C's, a random D, a random A for Remy. We have a whole bunch of C's. Okay, Belize body cam. We have a B, we got a C. Multiply all of them by 12. Okay, so we got that. Multiply them by 12. Divide total by 12. There we go. All right. So then we have Sue. Nice. We got with a D. We got some C's. Yes. All right. So let's stop the torture. We are going to take, since it says during the year, so that is 12 months because they said what's her monthly grocery expense. So we are basically taking this lovely thing and dividing it by 12. Now, we probably don't have to divide the whole entire thing. We know it's going to start in ones because all of the options are in ones. So how many 12s can go into 15? One of those. Then 15 minus 12. Then we got our 3. Bring down our 6. How many 12s can go into 36? Exactly 3. So then 3 times 12, that gives me 36. So right here, I should be stopping. Because what else has a 3 in the second digit? It would be C. Okay. The days, especially these standardized tests, you do not have to do all the work all the way. They're not going to care about your whole process. They're not going to be like, oh my God, her notes are so beautiful. They do not care. They just care. Did you pick A, B, C, or D? Okay. All right. Well, CJ, now the math is going to be on your FYP because you responded to my live, you naughty little minx. All right. So very easy. What is this test meant for? So this test in particular is to help people that want, this is one of 2 parts of the ASVAB, to help people go into the military. All right. Okay. Yep, could have rounded and then divided. But here's my thing, MD, boom. We didn't even have to go that far. Really didn't have to go that far. All right, so here's the next one. Becky is excited because she qualified for a 0% 5-year loan for a new car through her local dealership. She buys a new car for $1,500 down and payments of $379 per month for 5 years. How much did Becky spend on the new car? Is it A, B, C, or D? Okay. Would it help with the ACT? Yeah, especially understanding word problems, how to get everything together. Could you use this for the GED? Yep, you can use it for any exam from A to Z. This is a skill set that you have to learn, how to pull stuff from word problems. Okay. Yep, same difficulty. Yep. Because this actually came from ASVAB for Dummies. And all the books that I have seen, ASVAB for Dummies actually does a really good job of matching close to what the exam actually looks like. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I don't know about long, but we're going to see what we can do. All right. So we have 1,500 down. Okay. We're having payments of $379 per month. Okay. And it says for 5 years. Oh, wait a second. Gotta do this whole puzzle piece thingy. I feel like I have to be like special ops just to do this sometimes. All right. So we need to convert those 5 years into months. So 12 times 5, that gives me my 60. Okay, so if you see this, you have your 1,500 plus your 379, which is being multiplied by 60 months. Okay, and when you do your multiplication first, remember PEMDAS. So when you do your multiplication and then you add your 1,500, it will give you 24,240, which is option A. Okay. Okay, so it's going to be option A. First thing, we're not going to just put 5. We're not going to say 5 times 379. We had to convert it from years to months because they wanted to know 379 per month. Okay, so we had to do some convert. I know, right? This is screaming hoopty. Like this is screaming like first car hoopty. That's what it's screaming. All right, so let's get it going. You missed school? All right, it's still there. It's still there. I know being an adult, when we're younger, we're all begging to be an adult, and now we're adults. We're like, oh, God, this sucks. There's some good stuff, but there's a lot of bad stuff. So, 13, Daytona Beach averaged 7.5 inches of rain each month for the month of April, May, and June. How much rain in total did Daytona Beach receive during these 3 months? Is it A, B, C, or D? Okay, so I got a bunch of D's, a follow. Thank you for the follows, everyone. I appreciate that. You know, and if you also want, yeah, it's a free subscription. Get me before I get bougie. You know, so you can know when I go live. I try to go live every day. The past couple Tuesdays and Thursdays, I've been jammed up with tutoring, but I try to get here as often as I can. So we got a bunch of B's, we got a D's. Thank you for checking in. Thank you, Mimi. All right, got D's. All right. How do we do it? You have your 7.5, right? And it's happening for 1, 2, 3 months. So we're just going to multiply this bad boy by 3. 5 and 3 gives me 15, carry the 1. 7 and 3, 21 with my 22. And since it is 1 decimal place, that means I'm starting right behind my 5, moving it over, and this is where my decimal point's going to go. So 22.5 inches. Option D. Okay. Okay. No, don't feel dumb. You're trying to help your son because the way that math is being presented is completely different from when we were in school. So please give yourself grace. I appreciate the fact that you want to help your son. Okay. So a carpenter earns $12.30 an hour for a 40-hour week. Okay. His overtime pay is time and a half times his base pay. His federal tax holdings is 23%. He also has $150 per week deducted for child support. If he puts in 46-hour week, how much weekly pay will he receive? For those that says, we are never going to do this in real life, Exhibit A. If this is not real, I don't know what is. I mean, we got homeboy paying child support. You know, he's trying to do what he's got to do. He got that time and a half with the overtime. Real life stuff. I know, right? Can't get any realer. Can't get any realer, right? Woo! All right, so what we got? A, B, C, or D? No tax, though. Well, we don't want to shame the man, user. We don't want to shame him that much. We want to give him some kind of hope. Or her, because, you know, carpenters could be male or female. God, give him some kind of hope, right? In the trenches, dear God, yes. Right? All right. So, overtime, real talk. Exactly. Gotta love that overtime, especially holiday. Double time. But you know what they need to bring back? Besides you trying to tell me what my answers are, I got some A's, I got some C's, and I got a not A, I got a B. They need to bring that Christmas bonus. Bring that back, especially as a teacher. If I get another tray of some crazy ass cookies and another mug that says best teacher, you know how many mugs I get every year? That's a lot of mugs. And I don't drink coffee. Like, get to know me, right? Right? You need a beard to do math? Hey, do what you gotta do. Get a little taste on there. Get you nice relaxed. All right. So we got some B's. We got some C's. Not too many A's, which is good. All right. Real life. Let's factor out this time and a half. So time and a half is like 1.5. Right? And we're doing it for his regular time, which is my 12:30. Okay, so if I want to, and I know some of you guys want to see the work, okay, we can do it. So 1.5. So we have our 0. We have our 15, carry the 1. That's 11. Carry the 1 makes it 6. 1 and 0, that gives me my 0. We got our 3. We got our 2 and our 1. 0, 5, 4, 8, 1. This has 2 decimal places. This has 1 decimal place. So we got 3. 1, 2, 3. So that means homeboy is making $18.45. Okay? $18.45 for his overtime. Now, they're telling me this is for a 40-hour work week. This is how much he makes an hour. So if I may, let's see if I can put it up here. We have our $12.30 times the 40. Okay, plus the 18.45. But how much overtime did he work? Or she work? How much overtime did the carpenter work? Okay. All right, Tiff got me. Coco got me. Good. Kia got me. Good. 6 hours. Good. Nice, everyone. Because since they went here, if you did a 46-hour work week, that's 6 hours over. Boom. Okay. So if I do my multiplication and add everything up, I'm going to get 602 because I'm about to run out of time because I have to get myself together. Okay, I would get $602.70. Don't get too happy. Because now we got to take money away. Okay, federal tax withholding. 23% of that. Okay, so we need to take 23% of this. So when I do that, I'm going to get $138.62. Okay, we're subtracting that. Don't get too happy. We got something else coming out. All right, gotta support the baby. $150 for child support. Okay, so that means you're going to have to take out $150. All right. Okay, I know there's other withholdings I know we want to talk about. We're just going to do this. So once you take all that stuff out, you're going to have $314.08. That's how much is going to be left. Okay, that's how much is going to be left. Okay. Where this money came from is the 23% of the 602. Let me change colors. So if I do 602.70, all right, and we're taking 23% out. I know. So 0.23. Then we're going to multiply. This gives me 0. 73.21 carry the 2. So we got 6 plus 2 gives me 8. 3 and 0, that's 0. 3 and 6, that's 18. Then we do with the 2. There we go, my 0. 7 and 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 2 and 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. 2 and 0 is 0. 2 and 6 is 12. I know, it's a pain in the neck doing it by hand, but here we go. Okay, this was 2 decimal places. This was 2 decimal places, so my answer has to be 4 decimal places. So moving over 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you could round it, remember our change usually stops in the 100 spot. So I'm looking in the 1,000 spot. Don't have to round up. So this is where my $138.62. That's how much the government is withholding for federal, not including state, just federal. All right. Yeah, some little details. Okay. All right, so that's the 25 or the 23% that they were withholding for taxes. So we had to take it out of the total cost. Okay. Yeah, but here's the thing, Digital Star. When you take the test, you can't ask ChatGPT. Okay. All right, no problem. Sorry about this. I had to remove somebody. All right, so I have room for possibly 2 more problems. Okay, possibly 2 more. Then I have to get myself situated. All right. Okay. All right. So Mark is in the Air Force and stationed in Germany. The military shipped his Ford Mustang over there. Really? Your Ford Mustang? Okay, you're in Germany. Okay, all right. Over for him, and he's driving it on the Autobahn. Ooh, the German interstate. Did that once. That was really cool. The speed limit in Germany is stated in kilometers per hour, but Mark's speedometer is calibrated, you know what I'm saying, in miles per hour. Mark knows that the kilometer is about 5/8 of a mile. If the speed limit on the Autobahn is 120 kilometers per hour, what should Mark's speedometer read if he's traveling the speed limit? Okay. So is it A, 70, B, 65, C, 75, or D, 80? Thank you, LaTanya, for joining up. I know, it was fun. I have to admit, it was a long time ago, but it was fun. I wouldn't mind doing that again. Okay. Playing for blasting Freebird. Freebird! Okay, whole bunch of C's. Jenny saying A. Okay. All right, Lieutenant Dan with C. Is that C? Alexa C. Okay, user C. Ira C. Okay, we got a whole bunch of C's. So let's take a look. So if they're telling us it's 120 kilometers per hour, and we're saying that a kilometer, I'm going to circle it, is about 5/8 of a mile. So let's take that 120 and let's multiply it by that 5/8. Okay. So if I want to, I know 120 because I probably could reduce it. But if I want to, I can do 5 times 120, which gives me 600. And then divide that by 8. So how many 8s can go into 60? It's 7. So right away, option B and option D is out. It's either going to be A or C. So I know 60 times 7, that's 56 with 4 and 0. So how many 8s can go into 40? That will be 5. So my answer is going to be 75. Okay. And let's get this next one, number 16. All right, a man bought a total of 40 chickens and ducks. He paid $2 per chicken, $1 per duck. He spent $44 in all. How many chickens did the man buy? Is it A, 2, B, 4, C, 6, or D, 8? All right, so this is what's called a system of equations. So I'm going to say C is going to represent my chickens, D is going to represent my ducks. So I have a total of 40 chickens and ducks. I know price-wise, I paid $2 for a chicken and $1 for a duck, with a total cost of $44. So what I could do, and they want us to know how many chickens did the man buy. So I'm going to put this first equation, I'm going to solve it for D. Because when I solve it for D, I'm going to be able to find what C is. So we're going to say D is equal to 40 minus C. This 40 minus C, I'm going to plug it in for this D here. So it's going to look like this. 2C plus 40 minus C equals 44. So now we're going into some algebra. Now we want to combine our like terms. 2C and negative C, that just gives me C. Because remember, there's always a 1 that's in front of that C. Now, I want to subtract 40 on both sides. So 44 minus 40 gives me 4. Now, you could do guess and check. You could probably say, all right, well, let me do 2. All right, if I did 2 of the chickens, that will give me 4. 4 plus 5. Well, that's not going to give me 144. And then you have to figure it out that way. But this, if you're doing GED, this is called a system of equation. And system of equations, that is a 4-point question. Okay, with GEDs, you have a 1, 2, 3, and 4-point questions. 4-point questions are huge. So slope, equation of the line, system of equation, volume. Those are huge 4-point questions, okay? ASVAB, if you're seeing system of equations, you're doing really good. So you're like in the 50s, early 60s, okay? Up to the 30s, that's basically adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions, decimals. You're looking at rate, you're looking at proportions. But once you start seeing like linear equations or evaluating, or is it a function, then you're starting to be above that 31 cutoff that most people are using for the testing. Okay. All right. Okay. What? Right. It wouldn't be A. No, it's not A. Okay. And the AccuPlacer is basically used to help you figure out what math class you should go into. So if you really are struggling with math, they're going to put you into what's called intermediate math classes. And those you're paying money that is for a non-accredited math class. So they're helped to build you up until you can get to college algebra. And that's going to be your first math class that you're going to take that is accredited. Okay. So if you guys have any questions about those, please let me know. Put it in the chat. All I can do is just share my experiences. Because right now, skills-wise, we're going to stop right here. But sure. Probably raise it up a little bit. So I will be on tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. I don't want my trollers to know. Okay. So when is your algebra live? This is it. This is all algebra. This is all algebra. Okay. Yes. Let's try. You have that. Ooh. Okay. Definitely not. Definitely not. And then we'll figure out when are you going to do. This was so much fun. Yeah, it was. Do you do GED live? Yes. But here's the thing. A lot of those concepts that you're seeing in the GED, the ASVAB, the AccuPlacer, the TEAS test, the HESI test, the, what else is most popular? The IBEW. I'm not sure. Someone asked me about steam fitters and I've never, but if it's algebra, yeah, I can tutor that. All of it is the algebra piece is the same. They just change the names, they change the situations, but the math is still the same. So even though you're probably like, oh, well, this is for ASVAB, this is not for GED, so I better not listen. No, you need to listen because you are going to have word problems. Okay, you are going to have word problems. Answer's B. Okay. So I will be on tomorrow. If anything, if you are not following me, my suggestion is to follow me and also to hit that orange heart that's near my name so you can be one of our fun fans here. So anytime I go live, you should get a notification. Okay, if not, let me know so we can do that. Okay, can I plug it back in? What do I need to plug it back in? What do I need to do? Why am I doing this? Okay, so how many chickens did the man buy? Right, but here's the thing, when I plug it back in, do I know how many ducks? So what am I checking? They didn't tell us how many ducks, so we don't know. Not a problem. It would be 36 ducks, but did they tell? Because I think people are trying to check it, Michael. So, yeah, they didn't ask for how many ducks. See, this is why, hopefully you guys are not doing this on any of your assessments, because that is a time suck. And not in a good way, okay? So we got to get all that together. What time tomorrow? It's going to be, I don't know. Because he bought all of them. But I know I'm definitely going to be tomorrow. Okay. When am I teaching? Not sure yet. I normally would say I'm going to finish this off, but it might be more so something else. I'm not even sure. Okay. You so ready? Awesome. I'm not even going to lie to you because I'm like, right now, I don't know. Just whatever that comes on the whim. Trust me, I have plenty of stuff here with answer keys already ready. You know, I just have to figure out what I want. All right, everyone. So any questions about GED, AccuPlacer, ASVAB? TEAS test I'm not too familiar with, but I know there is algebra in it. And you can use a calculator. You just have to use a scientific calculator for the TEAS test and the HESI test. Texas. All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Why are you scared to take the GED exam, Rosette? Talk to me. Do you want to keep a college math boot camp? See, I've done a college math. I've asked people if they want a college math boot camp, but people are like non-responsive. So why should I put a whole bunch of stuff together just for people to just sit there and do nothing? Yeah, don't want to waste my time. All right, not a problem. Okay, paraprofessional test. Yep, I help with that as well. Actually, I'm helping a couple people with that. Okay, you'd be happy to join, so that means you'll be by yourself. So that's might as well just let that be a tutoring session in all in itself. Yeah. Why are you too afraid? What? Guys, like if you don't pass the GED, are they going to line you up outside and do some kind of Squid Game thing to you? No. So what are you afraid of? The only thing is, and see, this is what happens to us as we grow up. We, especially us in the States, we were always told that you have to be number one. You have to be first. You should be better than everyone else. And you're not allowed to mistakes. And you cannot show your weakness because people will take that and use it against you. Well, guess what? Here's the truth. No one really gives a rat's ass about you. No one cares. No one cares. But they instill that in us as a fear factor. If you make a mistake, this is how you learn. You adjust to it. Why was that a mistake? Why was that wrong? What do I need to do to tweak it? And now when it comes to math, you have someone, hello, hi, how you doing? That can help you with that. That can break those things with you, break it on down. But here's my thing. What are we doing to prepare ourselves? Because I just saw, I'm not prepared for it. Why do you feel that you're not prepared for it? Okay. Comedian. I mean, but it's called life. It's just so okay, if you need more help, you know what to do. Message me. You have me. Hello. Did we not just spend how many hours together? Don't go out on the date and then all of a sudden be like, oh, the meal was great. And you're about to leave with Tupperware containers. Don't be that trifling. I already got one friend that did that once. I gotta love my trifling ass friends. Um, you know, you gotta learn to adjust. You're going to make mistakes. You are going to screw up royally because guess what? You're a human being. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. Pay for one-to-one help. That go ahead, Bree. But you can't stay at my house though. Okay. So you freeze? Well, that's what it is. So if it's because you just need someone to calm you down and just be like, because every time you think, I got to do this, 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 I got to pass it, you're going to fail every time because you're psyching yourself not up, but out. You got this. Come on. If you're still around for, I don't know, past 30 years and you're beyond 30 years, dude, you have figured out ways to survive. You didn't know how to come out the womb walking? If so, seriously, dude, what's going on? That Similac is hitting hard. But you had to adjust. You had to learn. You had heartbreak. You had things, and I know you don't want to go through that pain because this is what we do. We either fight or we flight. Well, now you've already flown so many times. Now it's time for you to sit your butt down, get some assistance, build up your confidence, and get it done. That's all it is. Okay? That's all it is. There's nothing to be afraid of. You take the test, and if you don't do well in it, all right, what did we miss? What was some of the things? Like after you take the test, you go in your car, you have a paper and pencil, and you write down some of the problems that you were like, I don't know what that is. And then you call your lovely new friend, Audrey. Hi. And then we work out the problems. And then you calmly sign up for the next one, and we get it done. Don't let the pressure of society throw you off. Don't do that. Do not do that. Girl, don't tell me that I'm old bull crap. Stop. I had to say it. I feel like I talk to my mom this way lately. I hate that because I hate when she says, I'm just so old. No, I see women her age or older running marathons. Stop it. You can learn. We always can build to learn something new. And if you think of it as, all right, I'm learning something. Let me adjust to something. And I know it's hard to take it when you're in a community college setting because the class goes so fast and it's designed that way. But if you have someone that can break all the concepts down with you and do it with the current GED ASVAB concepts, you're going to be fine. But you got to give yourself grace. You got to put in the whole effort and put it into action. And it's a matter, sometimes you just have to give up an hour of your time of watching TV or hanging out. If that's what you got to do, it's 1 hour. Give yourself an hour so you can move forward into something else. Right? Okay. Well, that's when the practice is going to come in, Angela. Okay. Okay. We're not good at reading. So then start reading a book that you like to read. What is things that you like to read? Because we don't read that much, guys. We really don't. I don't care what anyone says. We do not read that much. And everyone feels that they have to jump into Romeo and Juliet or they have to jump into Canterbury Tales in order to understand reading. No, you don't. Read some of Jade. I remember when Jade came in. What was her name? Jade? It was one of those nasty books back in the 90s. And all these kids were reading this book. I swear to God, that was the most that I have ever seen children reading. Right? The motivational speaker. Yeah, math is so hard. And you know why it's hard? Because when you were first experienced with math, you were as a kid, all of a sudden, you didn't want to be that kid that's like, I don't understand. Because everybody wanted to go out for recess And you didn't want to be that kid to raise your hand when when the teacher asked, does anyone have any questions? Okay, no questions. All right, go out to recess. And you kept it to yourself over and over and over again. And when your teacher noticed that you were struggling because your parent says, my child is struggling, do something, then they pull you out of the classroom, throw you into a corner, and you had to sit there and do that page where there was like nothing but math problems on there and you didn't understand anything. That's why a lot of you guys hate math, because of your early exposure to it. No one has to say, you know what? If I give you this situation, what do you see? How many people asked you that question when you were younger? Nobody did. Because when you have kids, all right, I'm getting sick of this. Watch my private parts. Why can't you just go and harass somebody else? Because no one wants your private parts. No one wants anything that you have. Okay? No one does. No one does. And we keep blocking. We keep doing all this stuff. Jeez. Because no one cares about you. All right, back to my normal scheduled thing. All right. So because you had a poor experience, you're carrying it over. The reason why your parents couldn't help you once you start doing advanced math, because they went through the same thing. Either both parents are in your family, or maybe you just had one of the two, or maybe you were raised by your grandmother who was like, what is up with this new math? Now you're getting older and you're saying, what is up with this new math? So what are we doing to make these changes? Okay. So my feelings of how kids are being taught is all kinds of cray-cray. Like, it wasn't broke. It's how that person presented the information. Kids should be a part of their learning. They should have some kind of say in their learning. But like, I don't want to just sit here and count sticks and dots. And sometimes it works because they'll have exposure to something similar, like the way, where my things go? Like how some people would be like, what is 376 plus 58 or something like that? And I know people are doing like some kind of box and all that stuff. And like, this is the 300, that's the 70s, the 60s. So you have 300 here, you have 70 here, you have 6 here. Then you have like 50 here and 8 here. Okay. This is actually going to be used later on. I use this when I'm multiplying polynomials. So this box method does come back. But when they get from elementary to middle school, and then they go middle school to high school, they don't do this for everything. And there's a disconnect. So it's kind of like, all right, what are we going to try to get these kids to learn? Because I'm serious about the whole thing of we need to have personal finance in the classes. We need to have, and not just in elementary school and you're doing something cute and all the kids have their own little savings account, because once this goes in middle school and in high school, it stops because they got rid of consumer math. They got rid of personal finance. They got rid of those because they're not a college-based thing. And they need it in order to survive freaking college. But I digress. You know, am I a retired teacher? I am not a retired teacher. I left the classroom. After 22 years, I got tired of the emails and the meetings, and especially teaching math, we are constantly being pulled in for special ed meetings. And some schools that I've worked with, I just had to say my piece and leave because I always connected with the parents, no matter whoever they were. But then my last school, they had me stay for the whole entire time for an hour. And we're sitting here talking about little Johnny wants to be a professional athlete. How can you be a professional athlete if you don't play? Like, he wanted to be a basketball player. And I'm like, dude, we don't even have a basketball team because it was a charter school. We don't have a basketball team. So how are you going to try to be a professional basketball athlete? So I was always that person that had to be real. I'm like, you got to think of something else. Because right now I'm hearing I'm staying at my mama's house to the day I die. And I'm like, I need for you to get that together. All right. So if you need any assistance, because I got to really get going. But if you guys need any assistance, don't hesitate to message me. Okay. Hit the heart so you know when I'm coming on. I'm definitely going to come on again tomorrow. I wish I can give you a date and time, but got a couple of the trolls in here. There's someone with children in sports. Yeah. So I love to have conversations about this and about how education and what's going on with our athletes. And nowadays, kids are not wanting to be professional athletes because of NIL. Things have changed. College students are not staying at colleges like they used to because we have the transfer portal. And with the transfer portal, I've known kids that went to 3 different colleges. And I'm like, you can't go to a 4th, man. They're not going to let you, or no college is going to want to pick you up. That's a conversation that I would love to have with you guys. But definitely, if you need any assistance, and you are serious about, I really need a tutor for my acuplacer, I want to take it soon, or I want to take it within a month, definitely chit chat with me. Okay. If it's like 3 or 4 months down the road, I mean, we could still chit chat, but it all depends on how much work you think you need. Okay. You have someone that's in your corner. Like, I can't judge you. My name is not Jesus or Lord. Do not let the highlights in my hair throw you off. Okay. I am not Mary. Those are the only people that can judge. I can't judge because I know when I was growing up, I struggled with math. I used to suck at math. And now look, I'm doing math online to thousands and hundreds of people. This is crazy. All right. But I can, G Money, I can. But again, it's a tutoring session. And if it's 1-to-1, it's going to be $77. I'm going to tell you that. It is going to be expensive because I got to prep for you. I got to make sure that I'm giving you the right stuff. And I'm going to try to organize things. Okay. So I'm here for you, but definitely reach out because that's the only way. And give me some time so I can upload and do all my replays. Okay, so you go here and you go here. Please do this because I'm like 80 something people away from getting my 1K. That would be so amazeballs. But at the same time, all of my replays from my TikToks from February 2nd is all listed here. Okay, but just give me a couple hours to do tonight's so I can upload that. Okay, after I do my lives and stuff. Okay. All right. So again, if you guys want to continue on with the conversations, you're chit-chatting with people, which I love, follow them now. Okay. I'm going to shut this live down in like 2 minutes. So I'm going to give you time to go ahead and put it together. All right. Follow each other so you guys can carry on the conversations. If you're like, look, we need to see if Audrey can do a college algebra or an ASVAB group and all this stuff, go chit chat because I'm willing to do it. But if I don't have like at least 10 people doing it, it's not worth the while. I'm going to be truthful. Okay. All right. Yes. Not a problem. All right. Okay. You just joined? No, you just joined. That's all right because the replay is coming. Okay. The replay is coming. Just give me some time. All right. All right. Okay, so you'll see all the stuff that we got. All right, so you guys got this? All right, I'm going to take it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And just go ahead, message me. I'm telling you, even if it's a stupid question, don't just say hi. Tell me what you want. Okay? If it's not me, I know people. I can get you to the right resources. Okay? It is going to be an investment. It is going to be something that's going to take away from your time. But if you want your GED, if you want to score well in the ASVAB, and you've tried to do it yourself, I'm not saying that you're not capable, but it's real easy for you to tell yourself the wrong answer. It's real easy. I've done it so many times myself. Okay? There wasn't a replay yesterday, Al. I wasn't on yesterday. Yeah, so that's why. All right. Well, thank you, Carrie Star. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. Okay, so nope, I only do math. You don't want me to teach you anything else. You will surely fail. English? Yep, fail. Science? But if you're looking for someone for chemistry, or if you're looking for someone for other subjects, just message me, and I think I can give you a couple names of people to follow. All right? All right. Awesome. Just to get fun. All right, awesome. All right, not a problem. All right, I have to get going because I have to get myself situated for tonight. All right, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay safe and stay away from jail because I don't have bail money. All right, take care. Bye now.